Do you guys talk about in your class the rewriting the script, the Me Too movement? Do you dive into that as part of this topic? I think it's incredibly important to have that conversation, and it's been an incredibly important conversation. But it's especially important with the historical context again added to it.
Yeah.
That was just okay for in not just American society, in Western society, but in the history of our species. It was just okay to treat women a certain way, and to see Sansa overcome that. That's an incredibly, again, an archetype of a bigger conversation that's important, and that needs to be had. How did the young folks in your class react when you take these deeper dives into their psychology or into their society using Game of Thrones?
I mean, I think it's a really rich and powerful tool to really get them to think in nuanced and complex ways. I think maybe another example I could use is the wall. And so we've got this, the dominant architectural feature in Game of Thrones is this wall, this massive thing, which has a very, very clear,
which, by the way, pre-Donald Trump.
Yeah, I know, but that's exactly what I'm saying.
Pre-Donald Trump. Is the wall in that book there?
Of course.
Show us that book.
It's been around for thousands of years.
What is this book you have here?
This is The World of Ice and Fire, the main source book on the books. For The Song of Ice and Fire.
Okay, and so the wall is in that book?
Of course the wall is in this
book.
The wall is one of the oldest.
So if the president tweets out that he was the first to the wall, we can reference his book.
We can show him giants building a wall of ice and say, hey, you weren't here for this, Donald.
Okay, so just not to get political, but again, fascinating that in this story that is, how old would that have been? When would that have first been written?
Oh, the book?
Yeah, the idea of the book and the wall would probably be 15 years old?
Oh, at least.
The first book came out in 1990, or the early 90s.
Wow.
So. I mean, the wall in Game of Thrones is based on Hadrian's Wall, which is like a real Roman wall that was built in between southern Scotland and northern England, and you can still go visit it today, the remnants of it.
Gotcha. So in your class, talking about when humans feel like they have to create a disconnect from something that's scary.
Yep. We build a wall.
We build a wall.
That's exactly right. To keep others out, essentially, right? They didn't want to keep those nasty pagans from coming into England.
It's so fascinating. I swear I could talk to you guys for hours and hours and hours. But, when I think about the wall they built in Game of Thrones, the ice wall, in a sense, it was the smart thing to do.
100%.
100% the right thing to do, to build a wall between you and your enemy. Mm-hmm. At some point, though, I think what we've seen, and again, if you haven't kept up on the show, don't listen to this podcast or watch this on television. You need to go catch up before you check out any social media probably in the world over the next few weeks. But the natural human reaction is to build a wall. And for a while, a wall works.
Yeah.
A wall absolutely works. Until it doesn't work, right? Is that one of the thoughts?
And in Westeros is a profoundly different world than the one we live in now. And so they didn't. What other options did they have? When the wall in Game of Thrones was built? Well, not a lot, right? And in terms of physically separating, but we have more options now.
So watch.
Yeah.
What I really mean though is the wall worked.
Right,
and now it's gone.
Right, absolutely.
And so
you have to solve a different problem.
Yeah. What was on the other side of that wall? You didn't solve the problem.
No.
You just delayed and, in a sense, allowed the problem to get bigger.
Absolutely.
And then your problem came marching right over that wall.
Yep.
The episode, is it season 7 when the wall comes down?
The last moment of the finale.
Okay. So I think about how that wall comes down. 60 seconds in the show? How long does the book say it took to build the wall, roughly? Years.
It took a while.
It took a long time. That
it's
wall,
very tall and it has magical properties, so you can't do that overnight.
Do you think anyone but the dragon could have brought the wall down? I haven't thought about this, but
there's a plot line that was cut out of that was from in the books that didn't make it into the show, where there is a magical horn that Mance Rayder, King Beyond the Wall, was looking for that reportedly could bring down the wall through some very similar type of magic.
In the book, does that bring the wall down?
The wall has not fallen in the book.
Oh,
we have at least 2 books to go.
Oh, that's right. Fascinating. But the idea, again, that the natural human reaction to something scary that we don't understand, those people over there, is to build something, to build separation, to create separation, to build a wall. But a wall does work.
East and West Germany.
A wall works.
Yeah.
But not forever.
Yep.
And ultimately, that thing that you put on the other side of that wall, it only beyond that wall is going to get stronger, and it does have its day of reconciliation.